I would be happy to introduce now our next speaker. When Indrek gave us perspective on innovation, let's say from a macroeconomic point of view, from the national and state level perspective and policy perspective, then our next speaker, Mr. Madis Talmar, has been really working with customer-driven innovation, and we could say that this perspective is from client or microeconomic side, and we hope that this will be complementing. So, Madis, please, the floor is yours, and you have 30 minutes together with questions.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, good morning. So I will present my skewed view, as René just said, in terms of what I think social innovation is. First off, though, when you look at the presentation slides that we printed out for you, you will probably notice that my slides, in fact, are very long. There's about 30 plus there. This presentation has about twice as few, because I expect people to, if you're interested in it, you can always check the other stuff as well. But I will keep my story short, because a presentation can only do so much, right? Anyway, I have the task of trying to define social innovation as such, which is, I could just give you a definition, and that would be it, right? But thought about it a little, and decided to take it from a background point of view. And in fact, when I was looking for a new camera for myself a few days ago, that was a bit more than a few days ago though, I usually go on eBay for stuff, because it's cheap, right? And it's good. And I checked what's the price level. I'm not going to get this particular camera, but what is the price level of the highest priced camera on the market right now? And it appears to be this Canon you have here in the right corner, which is about $5,500, and it's a great camera, of course. At the same time, when we look back 15 years, we see that this is the first really widespread type of digital camera that we had, produced by Kodak in '94, which cost about 4 times as much and was about 20 times as bad. So the difference there is actually very big. This only in 15 years, which means that technology is playing a huge role in modifying this particular world we live in. The implication of this, of course, is that the person we used to call a professional photographer is getting very vague now, because I think a lot of people in this class can consider themselves a photographer, me included, and I'm not a professional, but I'm not too far from it either. And when we think back, that the Kodak on the previous slide could pretty much do the job that a mobile phone can do right now. And that was the leading camera at the time for journalists, and it cost a lot. You can do a similar thing or a video with a mobile phone right now. So a kid is essentially a photographer, also a video maker, also a YouTube poster, also taking part in all kinds of networks in the world. So that is what leads us to a tendency in this particular world we have right now that Chris Anderson called the long tail, meaning that the times of scarce resources and scarce products, services, is pretty much over. You have a market filled with all kinds of stuff, and people have a huge choice out of it. Meaning that the standardized products that used to be the standard in the scarcity times are pretty much, well, I wouldn't say obsolete, but are going obsolete slowly. And there is a huge segment in the world for stuff that is produced in small quantities, that is very specific, very customized for particular people. And this is exactly because technology enables them to develop these needs and these wants from the world. So people are in fact wanting a lot more than they used to, because they have the shot at wanting right now. For a lot of companies, this essentially means a very important change in their business models. The business model innovation, which is a very popular term right now, essentially means that what companies are doing is that they are giving away some of their freedom. The freedom to really standardize a product and produce it in huge quantities, which used to be a standard, because that's what standardization means, right? But it's not anymore, because people want something different. People want something very different, in fact. So it could be, and I'm saying it could be, because that is essentially what I'm researching, whether it really is or not. It could be that adaptation is the key to the business in the future. So what Milesons know, when they developed the full different strategies they had in mind on the reactor, a very simple strategy to cope with a very simple world, is actually turning out to be the one to solve complexity as such. That is at least what I think. So there are some radical changes in thinking. And where these radical changes really come about is in the fact that people nowadays are a lot more than their job title will tell us. They can do a lot more and they're interested in a lot more. We all have hobbies, of course. We always have hobbies, right? But the possibilities to exercise these hobbies and to actually have discussions on those hobbies and to innovate these hobbies is getting so easy. You can just log on to any of those systems. You have forums on pretty much everything in the world. You can check out anything on the internet. So you have these endless capabilities of actually exercising what you are most interested in. And of course, being a group animal and community as such, being a basic organizational form of people for thousands and thousands of years before the company as such emerged at one point, the community was, before that, the main organizational form of the society, right? It was coming back in a really big way. And it's actually coming back in terms of exactly these hobbies and the things that people are so passionate about. And the underlying idea is pretty simple. It's the idea of that we can do something better together than on our own, basically.